today's theme, UN theme, is Digit All, and innovation and technology for gender equality. A very good theme has been chosen for today also: digital divide, combating gender stereotypes through digital inclusion. I must say that our Department of Education has a history, and it has empowered so many women by their research activities and by their education. And a department which I must say, where I think even now lots of girls, good number of girls are admitted because of their intent of their own hard work and the eligibility which they have while passing the entrance test. We have good number of girls getting admitted in the Department of Education. So definitely a cause for them to celebrate International Women's Day. When I talk of my own university, this International Women's Day we have been celebrating, I think, for last must be almost 30 decades now in this hall and some other in some other places also, venues of our own university. We always celebrate it with great enthusiasm and great awareness that we want to make amongst our young boys and girls. I will not say only girls, but boys also. And it has made a change. When you enforce or you deliberate upon some important issues on these occasions, it makes a change. I'm happy that yesterday we started this celebrating International Women's Day by kick-starting a gender sensitization walk on the campus, followed by many activities by our ICC committee and DSW, Professor Anisa Shafi and her team. So these types of activities are very important to give visibility to the institute pertaining to the gender equality and women empowerment measures that are being taken care in this particular university. I have advocated very strongly throughout my professional career for women development and women empowerment, not only in my own institution, all over in the UT and even at the national level. And at national level also, I was involved by UGC in many of the capacity building and women empowerment program. In fact, this whole Northwest region as a coordinator, I worked for capacity building programs, and it definitely gives you also confidence as a woman when you work for the betterment of other women. So I must, like Renuji, she very well pointed out that such programs should make a change. And as I always say, that it's very important for us, we should not see the gathering over here which are privileged. Maybe we are not facing those problems which, our young girls or boys face or women face at the grassroots level. So we should try to reach to that level. I'm happy that Department of Social Welfare, Social Work, Department of Sociology and other departments, even our Department of Law, Home Science and other women's studies are involved, our DLL, they are involved in, conducting some or the other awareness programs, literacy skill programs, other skill development programs at community level, which really gives empowerment to girls. And believe me, I think education is the only tool by which we can empower our young girls and boys, very important. And if we make women better, will make our economies better. That's really true. So all of us have to work hard towards having a very balanced and equal society. We always say that a society has to be balanced. All of us have to move together. When I talk of myself, I have always tried not to work in isolation or aloof as a woman. Wherever I see my women faculty or men faculty, whatever acumen or whatever capabilities they have, I try to work with them together and try also them to work in a very good ambience and balanced setup, so that the institution develops. So that should be our aim at the end, development of institution. And when the institution is developed, naturally it's the overall holistic development of an institution where both boys and girls, men and women are taken into account. With these words, thank you very much. Congratulations to the Department of Education.
Indeed, it's a matter of privilege for me to be with all of you this particular afternoon, specifically when the Department of Education, University of Kashmir is observing digital divide, combating gender stereotypes through digital inclusion as the theme for this particular program, which certainly coincides with the theme that we have at the international level. I will quickly try to go through the main important points. The reason being is this, that I always look at opportunities wherein we have gatherings of the students, scholars and the faculty members, and we need to somehow walk through our past, which will immediately bring us to the present, and then from there on we have to have a way forward, the way to march on, to be building our futures very carefully. As we all know, that we celebrate this particular day, which actually started in the US, which was in February 1909. And then secondly, it was in the second international conference of the working women in Copenhagen in Denmark, as we all know, that there was a women rights activist, Clara Zetkin, who called for an international women's office for the Social Democratic Party. And it was because of her and her demands to give equal rights to the women that a day has to be celebrated, a day has to be observed. And this particular program was attended by 17 countries, including Finland's first 3 women MPs. Women's Day was marked for the first time in March 1911, and the date was fixed as 8th March in 1913. UN celebrated it for the first time in 1975, and in 1996 it announced its first annual theme as celebrating the past and planning for the future. And I think that a lot has already been done by countries across the globe, including our own country and the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Well, we also know that certain countries, we have this particular day which is observed as a national holiday, and certain countries may be observing it, but then, little lesser in comparison to the ones who celebrate it through observing a national holiday. I would like to here quote Barack Obama, who called for the month of March to be known as the Women's History Month. And I quote him, "History shows that when women and girls have access to opportunity, societies are more just, economies are more likely to prosper, and governments are more likely to serve the needs of all their people," unquote. I think here we get a lot of ideas, and it's a sheer chance that I've been trying to go through the book written by Michelle. I'm sure many of you would have gone through that, Becoming, which is a wonderful, story of the two of them and their families put together. And then one gets to know that how, down to earth is Michelle and what all difficulties did she go through, wherein when we're talking about the digital divide and the other things, while reading that book, we come across many such facts, many such daily activities which you and me go through every day. And yet she became a celebrated woman because she tried to walk that extra mile with her husband and her family. I think that's very important for us to be remembering. When we look at our own country, herein we celebrate Women's Day to commemorate the birth anniversary of Sarojini Naidu. We all know that, popularly known as the Nightingale of India. So every year on 13th of February, the country acknowledges her achievements and an extraordinary leader whose potential goes beyond the realm of the Indian political cluster. The National Women's Day celebrates the unparalleled contribution made by Sarojini Naidu by establishing the women's rights in the patriarchal Indian society. It recognizes the cultural, political and economic contributions of women in India. The day strives to encourage gender equality and commemorate achievements of women through various events and festivities organized across the country, like the one we are witnessing today in the University of Kashmir. In 2015, many countries adopted 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Goal 5 is achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you all know that we will have to contribute singularly and collectively to be in a position to realize these goals. And I'm sure the day is not very far, specifically when you have a lady heading the Department of Education and a lady heading the University of Kashmir. So women studying here should take the lead and should march on with regard to not only trying to educate themselves but also their families, so that the whole idea of talking about innovation and technology, to ensure that there is no gender gap, we have to bridge that gap. We have to reach to the level of gender equality, which is not a distant dream when I look at this particular university. Now, with regards to the principle of gender equality, which is enshrined in the Indian Constitution, the Constitution not only guarantees equality to women, but also provides the state with the power to take measures of positive discrimination in favor of women in order to mitigate their cumulative socio-economic and political disadvantages. Women have fundamental rights to not to be discriminated on the grounds of sex, which is in Article 15, and get equal protection under the law, Article 14. It also imposes a fundamental duty on every citizen to renounce the practices derogatory to the dignity of women. So while it is already enshrined and you and me read, we talk about these aspects, I think it's very important for us to be living through them. I appreciate, we all understand, events like this, programs like this give us that particular platform. But I think it would be more appreciable if we all try to do something at the grassroots level, wherein the contribution with regards to trying to bridge the gap becomes, more practical. It's actually doable, it's plausible, and the fruits that will bear will be cherished for many more generations to come in future. Better education opportunities. Giving education to women means giving education to the entire family. Education policy needs to be more inclusive to ensure girls' rights to education and their right to be free from discrimination within educational institutions. The policy should target young men and boys to positively change their attitudes towards girls and women.
Today, which is normally considered as the profession of males, we see that the Group Captain Damni has been given the charge of heading the frontier on the western sector. I was going through the newspaper, that only newspaper, when I went ahead I saw that the profession which is male dominated, rather which was male dominated, I saw that there are at present almost 10,500 officers in the armored force in India, and highest is in the Indian Army, which is around 1,700, then 1,600 in the Air Force, and almost 600 in the Navy sector. That was my morning. When I came to office, Honorable Vice Chancellor, we went to another occasion which was convened by the Department of Islamic Studies at MMRC. And when we saw the hall, it was almost 95% filled by the female students. And we know Islamic studies, it looks that we were expecting that in Islamic studies there will be more men, rather there will be balance, but we have seen that 95% of the hall was filled by the women only. And Honorable Vice Chancellor, that when she saw it was filled by the women, she congratulated women that in that hall on the Women's Day. And when we came here, we saw again that this hall is again filled by the girl students and girl scholars. So we have truly celebrated the International Women's Day at University of Kashmir. I am happy. Yesterday we kick-started with the Professor Anisa ji. She is also heading the ICC. I was not here yesterday, but yesterday we kick-started the celebration of week-long Women's Day celebration, and today is the second day we are here. And from tomorrow we are again having programs from the Women's Studies Center. Then we are having from the social work also. But just here and there, Honorable Vice Chancellor directed me that we should have a program on the IT and digital sector also. And she directed me to consult Maruf, who is our Director of IT, to do the needful vis-a-vis the digital technology, particularly on the women. So this is the scenario which we are celebrating here in the University of Kashmir, and we all acknowledge and all we know that Honorable Vice Chancellor, I have already told her that she was never biased towards the males, rather men. But she's conscious about the issues which are being faced by the girl students or girls employees at the University of Kashmir. She asked our social work HOD, Dr. Shazia, to conduct the gender sensitization programs at the administration and as well as the examination department, because these are the two departments where there are frequent interaction or where frequent encounters between the male and the female, because female students come either to the examination section or the female employees come to the administrative section, and we need to sensitize the males, only males, because she has been directed that now males should be sensitized about these issues. Long back, we all know that this has not been told earlier also. When Honorable Vice Chancellor was Dean Students Welfare, she came with a novel idea that because we see the girl students, they suffer a lot while commuting from one area to the another area, particularly from the Lal Chowk to the Hazratbal area. So she introduced those days only that we should have a separate bus for commuting the female students from different areas of Srinagar city. And few days back also she was telling me that we should extend such services, because at present probably we have only two buses for commuting female students from Lal Chowk to the main campus, but she has directed me to work out modalities for enhancing the services to the female students from other areas. So that way she is highly sensitive towards the girl students. And at the University of Kashmir, we know that she has headed the Women's Studies Center. She was the founder director. She was instrumental in establishing this department, and her contribution to the Dean Students Welfare Office, we also know. In women in home science and extension activities, that is a job which she has done throughout of her life in the University of Kashmir. So that way we are fortunate, and we assure from administration every support to every such endeavor which promotes the gender equality, which promotes the gender parity at the University of Kashmir level. And we know that at present we have certain issues vis-a-vis the girl students. We have less accommodation available, but we are trying to cope up with the circumstances, and we are at present we are building a new hostel for girls also, which is coming almost 400 girls will be accommodated at that campus, because now we see, because most of the students who study here, they are the girls only, and we need to improve our stay of girls at the main campus because of certain safety measures.
ہمارے ملک میں اس کی مثال ہے، بلکہ ہمارے پڑوس میں بھی، پڑوس کے جو ممالک ہیں ان کی بھی ہم مثال دیکھ چکے ہیں. یعنی وزیر اعظم کے عہدے تک اور ہمارے ملک میں صدارت ملک کی سنبھالی، کرسی صدارت سنبھالی خواتین نے. اور اب ہمارے لیے سب سے زیادہ خوشی کی بات ہے کہ ہماری ریاست میں خاتون وائس چانسلر پہلی بار آئی ہیں. اس سے بلا شبہ ہمارا سر بلند ہو گیا. شان وگنے اس کشر بٹت پر آپ کو دیکھ کے اس کرسی پہ، آپ بلا شبہ پہلے انسان ڈیزرو کرتا ہے، اس کے بعد ڈیزائر کرنا چاہیے. وہی آپ کے ساتھ ہوا، اور جیسا کہ کہا گیا کہ آپ انسپائریشن ہیں ہماری ساری لیڈیز کے لیے، ریاست کی بھی اور ریاست سے باہر کی خواتین کے لیے بھی آپ ایک مثال ہیں. لیکن آپ ایکسیپشنز میں سے ہیں. جو میجورٹی ہے، جو اکثریت ہے ہماری سوسائٹی میں خواتین کی، وہ زیادہ تر سفررز ہیں. ہم نے دیکھا ہے فیلڈ میں عورت کے ساتھ کتنی زیادتیاں ہو رہی ہیں. اب آپ کہیں گے کہ یہ عورت ہی ہے جو زیادتی کرتی ہے، یہ بھی آدھا سچ ہے. یہ پورا سچ نہیں ہے، لیکن آدھا سچ ہے یہ کہ خواتین ہی اس کے ذمہ دار ہوتی ہیں. لیکن ایک عورت کو کسی حیثیت تک پہنچتے پہنچتے پوری عمر گزر جاتی ہے. اگر گھریلو سطح کی بھی بات کریں تو پہلے وہ بیٹی ہوتی ہے، پھر کسی کی بہو بنتی ہے، کسی گھر کی بہو بنتی ہے. اس کے بعد جب ساس بنتی ہے تب وہ بھول جاتی ہے کہ میں بھی کبھی ساس بہو تھی، میں بھی کبھی بہو تھی. اس وقت تک اکثر ساسیں بھول جاتی ہیں. لیکن کچھ ہیں جو خدا ترس خواتین ہیں جن کو یاد رہ جاتا ہے کہ یہ بھی میری طرح ہی ہے جیسے میں کسی زمانے میں تھی، مجھے اس بیٹی کے ساتھ کیسے پیش آنا چاہیے. وہ خیال رکھنے والی مائیں بھی ہیں جو اپنے آپ کو ساس نہیں مانتی ہیں، ماں مانتی ہیں ایسی بھی. ہم اگر انکار کرتے ہیں تو وہ ناشکری کے برابر ہوگا. لیکن ہے عام طور سے میجارٹی ایسی خواتین کی جو بہت سفر کرتی ہیں. ہم نے دیکھا ہے اپنی سوسائٹی میں کتنا ان کو جھیلنا پڑتا ہے. چاہے اپنی صلاحیت کے طور پر بھی اگر کسی ادارے میں آتی ہیں لڑکیاں، تب بھی چمی گوئیاں ہوتی ہیں کہ یوں ہی نہیں ہوگا، کچھ تو ہوگا، کچھ اس نے غلط کیا ہوگا. ایسے سوچنے والے بھی ہیں ہمارے ہاں، اور پھر اس کو سچ مچ لڑنا بھی پڑتا ہے. ایسے لوگوں سے ان کو فیس کرنا پڑتا ہے جو اسی ذہنیت کے ہوتے ہیں، جو یہ سمجھتے ہیں کہ مطلب خاتون آئی ہے تو اس کو خاتون سمجھ کے، کلیگ نہیں سمجھتے ہیں، انسان سمجھ کے نہیں ٹریٹ کرتے ہیں، اس کو لیڈی یا لڑکی سمجھ کے ٹریٹ کرتے ہیں. اس کے لیے اس کا مطلب ہے کہ ہمیں ضرورت ہے ثابت کرنے کی کہ ہم اپنا آئرن پروو کریں، اپنا لوہا منوا لیں. دوہری ذمہ داری بنتی ہے عورت پر کہ وہ کمزور نہ ہو کر بھی اس کو وہ ثابت کرنا ہے کہ میں کمزور نہیں ہوں. بھلے ہی وہ نازک ہے، یعنی وہ کام نہیں کر سکتی ہے جو مرد کر سکتا ہے، اس میں کوئی شک نہیں ہے، لیکن وہ اس کی نزاکت ہے، وہ اس کی کمزوری نہیں ہے، کومل ہے، کمزور نہیں. وہ جو کہا بھی جاتا ہے کومل ہے کمزور نہیں, اور ناری شکتی جب اپنے جوش میں آئے تو پھر ماننا ہی پڑتا ہے کہ ہاں یہ بھی ایک شکتی ہے, اور اس شکتی کو پازیٹیو ڈائریکشن میں لے جانا ہے ہمیں. اس وقت آج کل گورنمنٹ نے بھی کئی سطحوں پر عورت کو سپورٹ دیا ہے. جیسے اگر ویمن ہیراسمنٹ کسی ڈپارٹمنٹ میں ہو رہی ہے تو اس کے لیے لازمی طور پر اس میں ایک کمیٹی بنائی جاتی ہے, پہلے سے بنائی گئی ہونی چاہیے. اس کی چیئر پرسن بھی لیڈی ہی ہونی چاہیے. تو اس میں 50% سے زیادہ لیڈیز ہی کی انوالومنٹ ہونی چاہیے. تو اس کا مطلب ہے کچھ حق ملا ہے. اگر کہیں سے احساس ہوتا ہے کہ زیادتی ہمارے ساتھ ہو رہی ہے تو ہم صحیح طریقے سے لڑ سکتے ہیں, لیکن اس کا ناجائز فائدہ نہیں اٹھانا ہے, کیونکہ ناجائز فائدہ جو اٹھائے گا وہ ایک وقت میں آ کر ایکسپوز ہو جائے گا اور اس کی پھر کوئی حیثیت نہیں رہے گی سوسائٹی میں, جب یہ ثابت ہو جائے گا کہ اس نے جھوٹا الزام لگایا تھا, یہ سچ نہیں تھا. انسان کو دور بین ہونا چاہیے. حالانکہ کہتے ہیں دور اندیش بڑا تنگ نظر ہوتا ہے, لیکن دور اندیشی ایک ضروری چیز ہے. انسان کو آج سے زیادہ کل پر نظر ہونی چاہیے. جب ڈرائیونگ سکھاتے ہیں نئے جس نے ڈرائیونگ سیکھی ہو تو اس کو پہلے یہ سکھایا جاتا ہے کہ دور آپ کو نظر رکھنی ہے. آپ سامنے نظر رکھیں گے تب تک دور کی گاڑی نزدیک آ جائے گی اور ایکسیڈنٹ ہو سکتا ہے یا انسان اس کی زد میں آئے گا. دور کی نظر بھی ضروری ہے کہ کہیں یہ نہ ہو کہ میں اس چیز کا فائدہ اٹھاؤں, کسی سے بس بنی نہیں, ڈپارٹمنٹ میں کوئی ہے جس کو میں پسند نہیں کرتی ہوں, پھر میں اگر اس کے اوپر الزام لگاؤں گی, ایک تو اس دنیا میں اس کے لیے سزا ہے اور دوسری دنیا کی سزا تو اس کی کوئی انتہا نہیں ہے, تہمت کسی پر تراشیں. لیکن یہ ایک سہولیت تو ہے ہمارے پاس کہ اگر کوئی سچے معنوں میں آپ کو تنگ کر رہا ہے آپ اس کو کہیں کمپلینٹ کر سکتے ہیں. اس طرح سے کہا جا سکتا ہے کہ بظاہر یعنی کاغذی طور پر تو ہے بہت کچھ خواتین کو, یا اور بھی مطلب گھریلو جو تشدد ہوتا ہے عورت کے ساتھ اس کے لیے بھی بہت سارے ہیں سمادھان جس کو کہا جائے. لیکن عورت ان سمادھان کا, ان سہولیات کی طرف رخ کرنے سے پہلے 10 بار سوچتی ہے کہ اگر میں آج پولیس اسٹیشن میں رپورٹ لکھواؤں اپنے سسرال والوں کے خلاف یا خاوند کے خلاف تو کل پھر اسی گھر میں رہنا ہے تو کیا پھر میرا انجام ہوگا. ہاں یا تو وہ بالکل اس موڑ تک پہنچی ہو کہ وہ چھوڑنے کے لیے تیار ہے گھر کو, تب وہ اس کا رخ کرتی ہے. تو ڈرنا بھی نہیں ہے اور مرنا بھی نہیں ہے گھٹ گھٹ کے, وہ بھی نہیں کرنا ہے. انسان حق پہ ہے تو لڑ سکتا ہے اور جیت کے آئے گا, یہ انسان کو سوچنا ہے. ہار نہیں ماننی ہے. ہم اپنے بھائیوں سے, خاوند سے, والدین سے یہ تو نہیں مانگ رہے ہیں کہ ہمیں بیٹوں سے زیادہ وہ چاہیں, لیکن بیٹوں کے برابر تو چاہیں نا.
Women and inequality always goes throughout the history of this life, and still it is going on. How much basically this issue has been resolved, this is a big question, because reason behind this we are not able to identify exactly what are the reasons. It is not only one reason and that can be resolved, or one issue that can be resolved. There are a lot of issues, and day to day, especially due to the technology, invention of technology or the bombardment of technology, these issues became again more sensitive issues. If we see the digital scenario of this world, though technology helps human beings to have their better life, but see the second or the opposite side of this, that when it comes to gender, again, within digital, it became the bias that women remain behind as compared to men. There's a dominance in the digital world. Presently, the data shows that there is dominance of men in digital world also. And as we know, this became the main issue or the main requirement, as UNICEF report says that at least in present scenario, 95% of jobs require digital awareness. And if women are behind in that digital awareness, automatically there's less chance to get the job or be equal at men. So that is one of the main issues that need to be taken into consideration. Second is one more study or one more data we have that is related with the participation of women in IT and technology industries. Unfortunately, the issue is same here. In technology sector, it is only 25% of women participation. So when there is no participation, automatically, basically, it will remain the issue. I will not go in detail. These days or seminars or conferences are basically meant to deliberate on these issues and find out the ways for resolving these issues. Most of the women IT are leaving jobs. Again, the study shows that 45% of women who are joining the jobs of IT are again leaving these jobs. And the reason, there are well-established reasons, and those reasons can be resolved. Those are the issues that can be resolved. Like, one of the issue among this is basically safety. The more technology should provide the safety, but unfortunately for women, when we look into the women perspective, there is vulnerability for women, not safety basically. They feel themselves insecure so far as technology is concerned. So that is one of the issue. And one more issue is that accessibility of this technology. Again, reports say that always the proportionate of women remains very less as compared to men. Then technical reasoning or technical learning of all these technology, there is less participation of women. So there is it is two-folded. One is direct interest of women that need to be generated. There need to be basically awareness about that. These certain jobs or certain new inventions are not meant for the only men. If digital, this scenario is dominated by men, it is because one of the reasons that perhaps when there is new things, women need to go in terms of back. That's first men try to overpower that. So automatically, those who run fast try to run faster, rest remains behind. So that is one of the reasons that we need to have awareness in especially educational institutes, that there is nothing biased in these issues.
The World Women's Day is the day that is specially dedicated to the women for praising and acknowledging them for the tremendous efforts that they put in for everyone. Women are the perfect entities to be celebrated because they are a complete package of special feelings of care, affection, and endless and overwhelming love for everyone. We women should cherish the blessings of being a woman. Definitely in life, sometimes we feel that we are only meant for sacrifices, but it's just the result of power that has been blessed to us by Almighty Allah. God has created the feminine creature as a symbol of utmost affection that not only leads the perfect life for herself but also lays down the strongest base for others' dreams as well. That's why it seems that one day is a way too short for appreciating and recognizing the role of a woman. Each woman should understand their importance and should have courage to build in their efforts for their own progress as well. Over the past decades, women have been able to represent themselves in such a way that the mindset of people has changed to recognize the work done by women for the society as a whole. And with the result, the planet 50-50 is in the process to achieve its target by 2030. Women equally contribute to the betterment of society. As if I am a little biased, then I would say that if there are no women left on earth, then the human race will cease to exist because a woman is the only one who brings life on the earth. Every woman is special, whether she is working at home or office or doing both. She plays a vital role in the development of the children and also manages her household efficiently. Today's woman is no longer a dependent soul. She is self-reliant in every respect and is capable of doing everything. Let us recognize the importance of their existence and motivate them all for the future achievements by joining hands together.
It's a matter of great pleasure for all of us that we have got assembled here to observe and to celebrate the International Women's Day with twofold objectives. It is of acknowledging, appreciating, and honoring women around the globe for the contribution they make each day and every day concerning to the cultural, social, economic, and educational spheres of the society. At the same time, the day ensures to create awareness and to bring attention to issues such as gender inequality, discrimination, abuse, violence, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, it is being highly observed that one of the potent factors to ensure gender equality is to promote digital access across the gender. The focus is to lessen the digital gender divide so as to widen the economic, social, and cultural equalities. In fact, a persistent gender gap in digital access keeps women from unlocking technology's full potential. Their underrepresentation in digital education and careers remains a major barrier to their participation in social and economic pursuits.